What's going on, everybody? I am back. A lot has changed since I posted my last video. We're over 4,000 subs. Thank you guys so much. But guess what else is back? That's what this video is all about. The ACE lease purchase program at Prime Inc. Let's get into it. Alright guys, like I said in the intro, ACE lease purchase is back. I don't have every single detail lined out, but here's what we're going to talk about. First thing we're going to talk about is what's different, okay, from the old ACE lease purchase program to the new ACE lease purchase program. Alright, and then we're going to talk about what's the same. Number one, the new payment average for ACE lease purchase is $1,000 plus to $1,300 plus a week, depending on if you have a 3 or 4 year contract with your APU buyout as well. All right, this is one thing right here that kind of, I expected, because the way the market value is going with trucks, everything's going up a little bit, so obviously the payments are going to go up a little bit. So they kind of kept it on the low. It's not really that much higher. All right, as long as it stays true to what this is. Number two, this kind of bugged me a little bit. The down payment minimum at time of ordering went from $1,000 to $5,000. I thought that was kind of a little shot to the gut for the drivers, especially the drivers that have been here for a while, 2, 3, 4, 5 years, maybe have completed 1 or 2 leases, even the guys that have been here 10 and 20 years. Don't think that's kind of fair. Maybe they kind of should have put some stipulations on that as far as tenure goes, but it is what it is. Obviously, Success wants to, and Prime wants to secure their end of the bargain. So they want to make sure that we're coming back to get these trucks and they're not sitting there with trucks they have to actually move back out later. Regular lease cannot be converted to ACE lease, but we'll have a buyout option after a certain time frame. So if you order a regular lease truck, okay, and I know we're talking mostly about ACE lease here, but this falls into that category. If you order a regular lease truck at the 24-month mark, you have the option to buy the truck outright with outside financing. There will no longer be any regular leases converted to ACE lease at all. End of story, period, dot. There's not going to be any exceptions. That's done with. Success Lease probably looked at it and said, hey, look, we can't do this. We need to get our interest up front, get these down payments in. We got to get our end secured. So they're not going to be turning it over. But you do have a 24-month start out buyout option. Now that is good from 24 months to the end of that regular lease. At any time frame, you can actually buy that truck out with outside financing. Now, as far as the ACE lease trucks go, say you want to go to outside financing as well. Used to be, you could do it at the time you signed the contract. The next day, you could go get outside financing, buy that truck outright using your outside financer, your bank, your lender, whatever you want to do. Well, Success is saying, not now. You got to wait 18 months. You have to fulfill that contract for 18 months with Success before you can actually go out to an outside financer and renegotiate your loan contract with another lender. So remember that, guys. When you're on regular lease, 24-month mark is when it starts. You can actually go to outside financing and purchase your truck through another lender. If you're on ACE lease, 18 months is the mark date where you can actually go to outside financing and finance your truck with another lender. Now, when we're talking about the buyouts, all buyout agreements used to be time-based prorated. Okay, so Success would say, hey, at the 24-month mark, your truck is worth this much. Okay, that's not the case anymore. Now it is market-based. Okay, the market-based value can fluctuate. Remember that. Once you sign your contract, everything that is litigated to the contract to the truck is the same except for the buyout price. So your payments can't go up, as long as you're staying with Success. They can't charge you extra for this when you've already paid this. But when you start talking about buyout terms at the 18th month for ACE lease or 24-month for regular lease, those prices can fluctuate. And that's something you got to talk with Success about when you come to time to actually want to do that. So just remember that, guys. It's market-based for as far as the buyout price goes now, not time-based. Right now, Success is saying with the truck shortages, parts availability, limitations. They are only allowing 1 truck per entity to be ordered for the rest of 2022 and the entire year of 2023. So if you are a micro fleet, a small fleet owner here at Prime, you own 2 trucks to 12 trucks, you're only being allowed to order 1 truck, okay, for 2022 and 2023. It may change, they're not sure, but for right now, that's the rule of the land. What stayed the same with the Ace Lease program? And some of you guys may not know this stuff, all right? And if you haven't had a chance to, go take a look at my video, the top 30 reasons to lease with Prime Inc. A lot of this extra information is in there as well, but we're gonna go ahead and go back over it. Right now, you can order a regular Ace Lease truck after 90 days of leasing with Prime. And I'm gonna go ahead and put my 2 cents in right here. But I'm a firm believer of this. After being with Prime for almost 6 full years, I'm gonna go ahead and tell you guys, when you come to Prime, if you're not sure if you want to lease a truck, buy a truck, you're not sure if company or lease is better for you, take all the advantages that you possibly can. If you get into an existing lease truck here at Prime, finish it out. And the reason I say that is everybody wants a new truck. Everybody wants the bells and whistles. Everybody likes all the extras. But get your system down, okay? Everybody trucks differently. I might do things differently than one of my buddies. They might do things differently than one of their buddies. The goal is to survive and thrive, okay? You want to profit as much as possible, and you want to make the best out of every single week. But you got to hone your methods down. So take that first lease opportunity as a time to say, hey, look, let me go ahead and practice on this lease before I actually throw money down to get into another lease. All right, that's just my food for thought for you guys. There's still a 3 to 4 year buyout contract, like we talked about. You can choose 3 or 4 years on your Ace lease. It's up to you. Obviously, if you choose a 3 year, payments are going to be higher. Choose a 4 year, they drag them out for another extra 12 months, which lowers your payments substantially, up to $200 to $300. Depends on the contract, depends on what you got going on. You know, every truck's a little bit different. Peterbilt's different from Freightliner. Like I said, check that top 30 reasons video out. You'll see that. There's still a $100 balloon payment at the end of the contract. A lot of lease companies have a $20,000 buyout, $15,000 buyout, $10,000 buyout. It's just $100. The title's yours. The down payment reduction for current and new leasers is still in effect. So your current down payment for an Ace lease truck starts at $14,000. If you come into Prime in 90 days, you've leased an existing lease, and you say, hey, look, I got this. I'm ready to go. I want to go ahead and order my Ace lease truck. You're going to pay 14 grand, 5K up front, the other 9K on the back end when the truck is delivered, okay? Plus all your extras up front before that truck's delivered. Now, we're going to get into that in just a second. If you have leased for Prime, every year you have completely leased a truck with Prime. Even if you didn't finish the lease, it doesn't matter. Every year you've leased with Prime, they knock $1,000 off that $14,000 down payment until $8,000. So the maximum benefit reduction you can get is $6,000. So remember that. We've been leasing for 5 years. If we ordered an Ace lease truck now, we're in our 6th year, but we haven't completed it. If we ordered an Ace lease truck right now, we would have a $5,000 reduction in down payment, which means we would owe them $9K total for down payment. Back to the extras. If you've been leasing with Prime for 1 year or more, any extras that you purchase on your truck, okay, when you at the time of ordering, can be put on a 10-week payment installment. Okay, so you have 10 weeks to pay those extras off before the truck gets there. Now, you don't get to choose what 10 weeks. The day that you put the order in and they call and confirm it with you, that week is when it starts. So if you order $10,000 in extras, expect to be paying $1,000 a week until that's paid off for that 10-week period. Now, if you haven't been leasing before for a year or more with Prime, before the order's fulfilled, the extras have to be paid in full. So remember that. You can't just say, I'll pay it, when the truck comes in. Or no, they want your $5,000 down and they want those extras paid for at the time of ordering. So remember that. You cannot do a regular lease or Ace lease at the same time. This has not changed. So don't think just because you're in a regular lease, you can go ahead and order an Ace lease and you can put your spouse in the regular lease. You do the Ace lease, you can't do that. If you're under the same entity, you cannot have a regular lease and an Ace lease at the same time. And last but not least, guys, time it just right when you order your truck. Take the amount of weeks in your contract that you've already been driving, divide it by the total miles that are on the truck, and find out what your weekly actual miles average is. And I'm telling you this because generally the rule of thumb is these trucks have 600,000 mile warranties. Success and Prime want these trucks turned in around 595,000, 596,000. Now that's been kind of stretched out because of the truck availability limitation and stuff like that for the last couple of years with COVID and everything. But they're kind of leaning back towards that. They want to get these trucks in at 595 and get them moved off the lot. Prime doesn't like keeping old equipment. So once you get close to that 600,000 mile mark, they want these trucks turned in. So remember that, guys. Time it right. Take your average miles, account for any home time before you want to turn the truck in. That'll tell you what dates you're basically going to be looking at turning the truck in. It'll give you at least a 2-week window. These trucks, these new truck orders, they want picked up within 2 weeks. Once it hits a lot and they actually call you and say, hey, Joe Blow, your truck's here, you got 2 weeks to get there and pick it up. They're either going to move the truck out from under you, or there's going to be fines subject to you or stipulations subject to you. Once again, contact Leasing. They'll explain it further. And I'm sure it's by case basis. They're not czars. You know, they're not trying to take the truck from you, but they got to keep things fluid and they got to keep things moving. So guys, that's it for today. If you got any questions or comments, don't forget to put them down below. Thank you so much for watching. 4K subs. I can't believe that. That is insane. You guys are awesome. And I'm hoping I can get back to you with more videos coming up soon. Hopefully this one was a quickie and gives you an update on Ace Lease. Don't forget to like, sub, and share the channel. Get that information out there, guys. That's what it's all about. Thanks so much for watching. Stay safe. God bless. Freight out.
Garbage.